BTS Global News Today. Seoul, October 2025. The sky over Seoul looked brighter than usual this morning. The sunlight breaking through the white clouds seemed to know that today wasn't an ordinary day. The road leading to Yongsan, home to the towering HYBE building, was filled with one color only, gold. From the small flags waving in fans' hands, to the ribbons in young girls' hair, to the glowing neon lights along the sidewalks, everything shimmered in gold, creating a breathtaking scene never before seen in the company's history. There had been no official announcement, no media invitation, yet since dawn, thousands had gathered in front of HYBE, holding posters and banners with one name. They whispered softly, but with deep emotion, Park Jimin. There was no official schedule released by HYBE today. The company's website was quiet, Weverse remained untouched, and even BTS's social media accounts stayed silent. Yet somehow, a rumor had spread rapidly since the early hours. Someone is coming to HYBE for Jimin. No name, no time, just that mysterious line. And it was enough to send thousands of army rushing to Yongsan before sunrise. They came with golden balloons, yellow chrysanthemums, and ribbons that read, "For Jimin, our light forever." Around 10 in the morning, the atmosphere began to shift. HYBE staff started putting up small barricades, and several black cars began moving in and out at suspicious speeds. Fans held their breath each time a car stopped at the glass entrance. Every shadow seen through a tinted window drew screams. But no one could confirm who it was, until an hour later, when the sun climbed higher and a man in a black suit, wearing a beanie and mask, stepped out of a white van parked slightly away from the main door. He didn't go in immediately. He stood there for a moment, staring at the sea of gold before HYBE, as though holding back a flood of emotions. Cameras shook violently. Lenses, DSLR, and phones alike were raised high, desperate to capture even the smallest movement of that figure. That he began to walk slowly. Every step stirred the crowd, not in chaos, but like a calm, meaningful wave rolling toward the shore. A fan standing at the very front whispered through tears, That has to be Jungkook." The sentence was small, but spread like electricity. In seconds, the crowd erupted. All cameras turned in one direction, and that name began to echo louder and louder until it filled the entire Yongsan street. Jungkook. Jungkook. Is that really him? He came for Jimin? But Jungkook didn't react. He merely bowed slightly, lifting one hand, not to wave, but as a silent gesture of respect. Instantly, the air turned emotional. Some fans sank to their knees, crying silently, covering their faces with scarves or flags. They knew if Jungkook was here today, it wasn't for a casual visit. It was something deeper, something only those who had followed BTS from the beginning could understand. The bond between Jungkook and Jimin, a bond forged through thousands of performances, tears, silences, and nights filled with unspoken words. The glass doors of HYBE opened. A staff member nodded, signaling him to enter. Jungkook stepped inside without looking back. A second before the doors closed, someone captured a photo of his silhouette, tall, fading into the dark-tinted glass. After that, the air outside turned strangely still. No one spoke. Even the wind seemed to pause. Minutes later, an internal HYBE source leaked to a Korean news portal. Jungkook had arrived without any official schedule and refused private staff escort. He reportedly said only one thing: "I need to come alone." No one knew what his purpose was, but the source overheard one line from Jungkook in the lobby, a sentence now dominating headlines worldwide. "I can't let him be alone today." Who did he mean? No explanation was needed. Today, October 13th, was Jimin's birthday. But that wasn't the only reason this day carried weight. Rumors had spread earlier that Jimin hadn't been seen in public for a week, and all his Weverse activity had stopped. Many suspected he was resting due to illness, but there was no confirmation. HYBE remained silent, as always, and now, with Jungkook's arrival, everything felt even more mysterious. Inside HYBE, things were different. A trainee on the third floor anonymously posted on an online forum, "We weren't allowed to leave our rooms for 30 minutes after Jungkook arrived. But my friend downstairs said music was playing faintly, like a piano. Then there was laughter. Then silence again. No one could tell who was playing, but everyone downstairs swore it was Jimin's voice." That post went viral within 20 minutes. Thousands of comments flooded in, some filled with tears, others speculating about what the two were doing. One fan wrote, "If Jimin really is there and Jungkook came quietly, maybe they're recording something, or maybe just celebrating in their own way." Outside, fans stayed put despite the growing heat. A fan from Thailand held a poster that read, "Jungkook forever in every era," while a group of Japanese fans softly sang parts of Friends, their voices trembling. A few hours later, the massive LED screen in front of HYBE, usually showing ads, suddenly changed without warning. In elegant golden letters appeared a simple message: "Thank you for being my light." JJK. The digital world exploded instantly. JJK shot to the #1 global trending spot. Most believed it stood for Jungkook, and that the message was meant for Jimin. But some fandom analysts dug deeper, pointing to the word light, a symbol Jungkook had long used for Jimin. In BTS's documentary, Break the Silence, Jungkook once said softly, "He's like a small light that appears whenever I start to lose direction." 6 years later, that sentence suddenly felt reborn. Soon after the LED message appeared, HYBE's entire exterior lighting changed. The lights along every side of the building glowed a soft golden hue, reflecting on the glass like the sun at dusk. It was 5 in the evening, but from afar, the building looked as though it was glowing to welcome someone, or something. ARMY began calling it the golden hour for Jimin. Around 6, a staff member was seen leaving the building carrying a large bouquet of pale yellow flowers. At its center was a ribbon that read, "To my friend, my Hyung, my home." The staff refused to comment, but couldn't hide a small knowing smile. An hour later, another piece of news broke. A delivery worker claimed to have dropped off a black box with the logo Golden Closet to HYBE's basement studio. The fandom erupted again. "Are they recording something together?" one fan tweeted. "Or maybe Jungkook made a video gift for Jimin?" Speculation grew that Golden Closet, Jungkook's personal label for his video projects, might be returning, perhaps with a film or song dedicated to Jimin's birthday. HYBE gave no comment. As night fell, the crowd outside still didn't move. Thousands stood, holding light sticks, gazing at the darkening sky. Suddenly, from a fifth-floor window, a soft golden glow appeared. It wasn't bright, but enough to draw everyone's eyes upward. Slowly, the curtain opened, revealing 2 faint silhouettes. One stood, the other sat at a piano. Someone captured it on video, and within minutes it spread everywhere. The standing figure wore a black hoodie. The one seated wore a white sweater. No faces could be seen clearly, but everyone knew. Jungkook and Jimin. No need for confirmation, no signatures. The way they stood together said everything. Moments later, a gentle melody began to play through a small outdoor speaker. Jimin's song Promise. But this time, there was another harmony beneath it. A lower, soothing male voice, blending perfectly. Jungkook's voice. ARMY fell silent, staring at HYBE as it turned into an emotional stage under the Seoul night sky. No announcements, no live stream. Just one song, played in sacred stillness. As the final verse faded, the LED screen displayed a final line. "To those who believe in love that never fades." JM and JK, and just like that, HYBE became a golden ocean. Fans lifted their gold light sticks in unison, illuminating Yongsan's streets like a river of light flowing beneath the night sky. Someone in the crowd shouted, "That's their promise," and tears broke everywhere. They all knew, though never spoken aloud, that tonight was the truest, quietest form of communication between Jungkook, Jimin, and everyone who still believed in the miracle that is BTS.